Well, perfect. All right, so I am very much out of my, sorry, I'm gonna switch this around here. I'm very much out of my comfort zone here at the grocery store, talking to my phone, which is talking to you guys. So I'm going to just start by going through the way that I would normally grocery shop. Just this is with my clients, oftentimes the most frustrating part of the whole process is knowing what to eat, but then like going to the grocery store and trying to figure out exactly how to find the things that are really good and nutrient dense. So I'm going to rotate my phone here. We're gonna just take the different aisles. So right now, I'm at one of my local grocery stores, and this is the baking section. So we have all these different sugars and sweeteners that are here to confuse us. Really, that's what they do, and they have all different claims. So starting up here with the monk fruit that we talked about. So, and you can see the different colors. So like this one is white, and this one is brown. The brown is going to have more minerals in it and be more pure than the white. The white's going to be more processed than the brown. We've got the zero calorie sugars here that are heavily processed. Coconut sugar, I'm not sure why it says 50% reduced calorie and why it's in here. I actually don't ever shop this section of the sugars, so we'll just kind of look through them. So allulose, these are all sweeteners that I never use. And then of course, I'm sure you guys know sweet and low and these types of things, especially the sweeteners with aspartame, are linked to ringing of the ears, massive headaches, and caro syrup for sure is something to avoid. These are all things that are going to cause physiological dysfunction in our bodies. They are highly processed sugars and our body doesn't really know what to do with it. And so it just creates a lot of inflammation. So now we've got some of the more natural options. So coconut sugar, these are some good brands here. As I mentioned yesterday, coconut sugar, while it is in the natural sugar family, it doesn't have a whole lot of minerals. And we need the minerals to be able to counteract the effects that sugar has on our bodies. So this is something that I'll use sparingly. We have the date sugars, which are full of minerals. Fantastic. They are more pricey though. So I usually just use those on very special occasions. Over here, we've got organic coconut sugar, clean label. So these are all good labels to look for. Not necessary, but always good. Okay, let's see. So we got more other brown sugars. Okay, here we've got the raw cane turbinado sugar. This one you can see is dark brown. It's going to have a lot more minerals. There are some turbinado sugars that are really white. Okay, here's this one right here. So you can see the difference in color. Let's see, between the two. So obviously this one's going to have more nutritional value to it. And this one's going to be more heavily processed. Sugar in the raw is a very popular sugar because it does have more minerals than the regular processed sugar, but it still is void of a lot of nutrients, more so than the turbinado sugar. So I would probably say like sugars like this, the pure cane sugar and the confectionate sugar, those are highly inflammatory, much a very big stress on our system, definitely something that we don't ever want to go to, as well as the brown sugars. So that's the one to avoid. Then the step up from that, I would say, is the sugar in the raw. And then you got the turbinado sugars. I would actually probably put the date sugar above that one. And there is one that's called sucanut, which is another, it's a step up as well. It's got a lot of minerals in it, and I will show you that brand at a different store. It's hard to come by just because it is such a pure form of sugar. They don't make it very often. Okay, up here we've got our black strap molasses. This one is going to have a lot of really good like magnesium and different nutrients. Obviously, it has a very strong flavor. Organic is going to be best, but it's hard to find. Barley malt syrup, that one we talked about yesterday, is heavily processed. Okay, and then here's another one. So agave syrup. For a while there, people were touting agave syrup as the best new sugar or sweetener because it wasn't spiking the blood sugar levels as much, and people turned over to it, which was the best new thing. However, research has come out showing that it has similar properties as corn syrup as it is broken down in the body. And so it is, yes, low glycemic, but definitely something to avoid. All right, so we got those. Okay, moving on. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so now the flower section. This one, we have a whole lot of options, starting with the almond flowers. We've got a bunch of nut flowers and different things available. So this is where it can kind of get overwhelming because there are so many options and we don't know what's good. Oftentimes people are diagnosed with a condition, especially like celiac disease, and then they decide to avoid all gluten, and then they'll turn to any flour that doesn't have gluten in it. But then it's going to cause inflammation in their system as well. And so it's a good idea to understand the whole concept behind all this. I feel like almond flour is one of the most commonly used gluten-free flours, but I do have a suspicion that we are going to see so many, we're going to see so many allergies popping up for almonds just because it's sprayed with a fumigant, preventing any molds from being grown. Also, it has the phytic acid barrier on it. It's not neutralized. Sometimes you can find the blonde, which is when they take the outside layer that has the phytic acid off of the almond, which is the better option. So you don't have that, but then if it's not organic, then it's going to have the fumigants on it. So we'll probably see an increase of inflammation with that one. So, okay, I'm going to turn you guys around here. Sorry, I'll come over here so you're not being recorded. No, you're fine. Okay. So here we go. We've got the almond flour options here, as I just mentioned. Buckwheat is a really great option to use, but any of these grains, they're going to need to be properly prepared. And I will mention that in a minute. So we got the buckwheat, the mesa. Now mesa is made from corn, and most of the corn is genetically modified. And so if it is not organic, it is most likely genetically modified and will cause gut disruption and something to stay away from. In addition to that, corn is very hard to digest. And so you want one that's been soaked in lime water, which I think most of these are. So you can see there, corn and lime. Lime helps to nixtamalize the corn grains, making it more digestible. So there was a while back, I don't remember exactly when, but the Native Americans grew the corn crop very plentifully, and it was a staple. And so we had some people come over from different countries, and they're like, oh, this is so great. It tastes so delicious. We're going to bring this back to our countries. And so they brought the corn grain over to their countries and they started to grow it, and it started to become a staple in their societies. Well, over time, people started to get sick with cholera, and they didn't know what was the cause of it. And it turned out that they brought over the corn, so the food, but they did not bring over the method. And the method that the natives would use would be to neutralize the phytic acid so that the nutrients were opened up. And I think it was a niacin deficiency. So although there's a lot of niacin in corn, if you do not properly prepare it, then your body can't absorb the niacin that's in it. And so instead of nourishing these people, it was pulling out the nutrients, and cholera was rampant. And there was a guy that was very adamant that it's the niacin, like we're deficient in niacin and we got to do the proper preparation. It took him a while to be able to convince people, but once he did, they started to supplement with niacin, cholera went away. So that's kind of an interesting fact there when it comes to corn. It does need to be properly prepared. Okay. Up here, we've got the baking sodas and baking powders. Well, these are baking powders. Baking sodas are over more. So baking powder often has wheat flour in it. And so I will make my own. And then also on top of that, it can have heavy metals in it. You can almost taste it from this brand. And I don't know about that brand because I have not used that one ever before. But making it your own is super easy. It's 1 part arrowroot right there, 1 part baking soda, and then 1 part arrowroot flour. I'm sorry, not arrowroot flour, but what is it? I'm gonna have to get you the recipe. I can't remember the third one. So
Is it cream of tartar?
yes, cream of tartar. Thank you. Yes. So if you mix those 3 together, then you have an amazing baking powder that works just the same. And then you don't have any of the contaminants in it. You don't have the wheat flour, you know, it's pure. And all these ingredients are pretty inexpensive. Okay, so then we've got the rye flour, which is a great flour to use, wonderful in making sourdough starts. We got chickpea flour. All these, again, have the phytic acids in them. Hazelnut flour, oat flour. Oats are extremely hard to digest and need to be properly prepared for 24-hour ferment is ideal. Okay, we've got the different mixes for the paleo flours, potato flour, which is going to be high in starch, sorghum flour, teff flour. This is actually a really delicious breakfast cereal if you can get the whole grains in teff. Quinoa flour, brown rice flour, sweet white. I mean, you can see there's so many different options here with the different types of flours. So anytime you're using any of these non-gluten type flours, if you're using them in baked goods, they're not going to stick as well. What I have found is that if I use a little bit of gelatin in the mix, that they hold together better. You can also use more eggs and they hold together better. But there's different fermentation periods that you need to abide by. And I have something that I sent out. Some of you got it. I will send out the form to everybody so you have it, but they list all the different grains and how long they need to soak for. So I oftentimes, I mean, these ones are really hard to work with, but one of my favorites is I go through here, scanning, got all these options. This is the one right here that I cried when I saw it. Because not only is it organic, but it is sprouted and it's whole wheat. I typically get this sprouted spelt, which doesn't look like they have right now. But this one has been properly prepared. It's been sprouted, which neutralizes the phytic acid and is ready to go. The only thing with this is that because it's been ground, it's going to lose some of its nutritional value, but it's going to be a much better option than using just like the basic white flours, which have no nutrients, are full of glyphosate and other sprays and toxins, and are going to cause major inflammation. So here's another brand, einkorn. Again, that's so expensive, but if you're only having gluten every once in a while for treats, this one's a really great heirloom grain that has really good nutritional value. You can see it here. So it's got a lot of selenium in it, which is great for the thyroid. We've got calcium, potassium. It's just a really good flour. I would recommend getting it in the grouts and then putting in your blender and grinding it up when you're ready to use it so that you have more of the nutritional value in it. Okay, so these are all just the basic white flours and cornmeal, whole wheat. So the whole wheat is actually going to have more of the phytic acids in it than the regular grains. And our ancestors did used to properly prepare them And we've just gotten away from it. I'm pretty sure it's just because it's a lot faster to just grab it and go. But over the years, we found that it's causing all sorts of problems. Okay, so now we are in the chocolate section, marshmallow section of the store. So when I want chocolate, Weston A. Price Foundation, which is a phenomenal resource, they try and tell us that we should stay away from cacao and cocoa and chocolate just because it has an addictive nature to it. But if you guys are like me, I do love the occasional chocolate. And so, and I like to give my kids treats that other people will have. So we make chocolate chip cookies in our house. And these right here, the Enjoy Life, are ones that I will often get. Let's see. So if you look at the ingredient list there, you see it, let's see. I don't know if you can see it. So we got cane sugar. It's not focusing. So it has cane sugar, unsweetened chocolate, cocoa butter, dried rice syrup, and salt. So the dried rice syrup is not the best, but it is a healthier alternative. These ones, the Lily's brand, oftentimes have the monk fruit in it. Let's see. So unsweetened chocolate, erythritol, which we want to avoid, chicory root fiber, cacao butter, skim milk, reduced protein, whey. Let's see, so malt, I don't know what that is. Milk fat, lecithin, stevia extract, natural flavors. And we had mentioned about natural flavors. There's all sorts of things that can be hidden in it. And we also talked about stevia extract having some problems with it as well. So this is one of the products that, sorry, I need to do two things at once here. You look at that and you think, oh, this is a really great health alternative for chocolate chips. It says no sugar added. And if you don't know about the ingredients in it, you might be consuming that, not knowing the dangers of it. Okay, let's see. Let's do this one. So we got Nestle Full House, which a lot of people are familiar with. It's got sugar, chocolate, cocoa butter, milk fat, soy lecithin, natural flavors. So again, that natural flavors is in there. Soy lecithin is in there, which we want to avoid. That's an emulsifier, keeps the fat mixed in, but can have some potential problems. So, I mean, comparatively speaking, this one is $5.49. And then the Lily's that we just went over is $8.99. But they're really similar other than processed, you know, one has low glycemic sweeteners in it and the other does not. Okay, so this one I will get as well. It's the Hue brand, dark chocolate baking chip. You can see that list there, which is phenomenal. It's organic. Sorry, I'm trying to get you guys to be able to see it. So it's organic, keto certified, and it's got a lot of really great things on there. And then no refined sugars, no cane sugar, no sugar alcohol, no erythritol, no soy, no palm oil, no lecithin, no emulsifiers. And the ingredient list is cacao, which cacao is a form of cocoa, but it's less processed. So you've got a lot more magnesium and manganese in there. Organic unrefined coconut sugar. Yes, coconut sugar doesn't have as many minerals in it, but it's still a great alternative. And then organic cocoa butter to give it shape. So that's 3 ingredients, you guys. This one, it's something that if you really have a sugar craving, good alternative to have. Okay, let's see. So we obviously want to stay away from all those marshmallows. They're going to be full of corn syrup, which we need to avoid 100% of the time. Okay, and then we have the active yeast, which if you have candida, it can stir up a lot of rashes on the system and cause gastrointestinal problems. It is much different than the sourdough yeasts from natural ferments that you use. Now, this is, hey, I'm doing a live right now. It's good to see you. Good to see you too. So I'm at the Harmon's grocery store, and they actually will let you purchase their sourdough starter. So if you call a day ahead and let them know how much you want at the bakery, then they will have it ready for you the next day. So if you have a local grocery store that makes sourdough breads, you can call them and ask them. That's a much better alternative to the yeast there. Okay, now we've got nutritional yeast, which is different than the yeast we were just looking at. It does have very wonderful nutritional properties, but most of them have been heated up, which denatures it. So Bragg's, I haven't done a whole lot of research into it, but we were talking about like how they fortify foods. Let's see, you can see that. So dried yeast, niacin, pyridoxine, and see, it's just listing a bunch of added nutrients. And so they have heated this up to the point where all those nutrients were destroyed. And so then they had to add them back in, and our body's not going to be able to absorb those as well as if you get a brand that is just the dried yeast. Frontier is a really great brand. I can give you some name brands in a PDF form as well for those. Okay. All right, we've got egg replacers, we got flax seeds, different types of flax seeds. They are really great for the digestive system. They help with transit of the bowels, which is fantastic. And it's got some really great omegas in it that we need for heart health, for cognitive function, healthy hair. You can actually soak the flax seeds in water and you'll get that nice thick gooey paste. If you can extract the seeds from it, I'll use like a thin cloth to be able to do that. So you can put it in your hair and it helps make your hair very shiny, which is kind of a fun thing to do. Okay. And then down here we have the chia seeds, which again are phenomenal. You want to get organic if you can. See, so the nutritional value there, potassium, you can see 198 milligrams, which is great. Calcium, 132 milligrams, iron, 2 milligrams. So chia seeds are also great to help with transit as well in the bowels and help feed the microbiome. Okay, we got oat fiber powder, which I would avoid. Hemp hearts, which do have some great properties, but the Weston A. Price Foundation has a study done with it where they just say it's harder to digest, and so they recommend that we avoid them. So okay, let's see. All right, here, I mean, okay, so I really love fried chicken, and I loved using these types of breadcrumbs to make it, but since I've learned what I've learned, I know that I need to avoid that. And so I will make my own. I will actually take my sourdough bread, let it dry out, and then I will grind it in my blender and I'll add in different spices to it. And then I've got a phenomenal breadcrumb option to make all my favorite foods with. So these all will avoid. Okay, so now we're into spices. Spices often will carry MSG in them. If it does not say organic, I don't even touch it because it is going to have more than MSG. These, okay, Simply Organic was a really great brand that I was purchasing for a while, and I don't know if they got bought out. Let's see, I was picking a package up yesterday. So it's got organic chili powder, organic maltodextrin, which is from corn, organic paprika, sea salt, garlic, onion, potato starch, which can be hard on the digestive system, coriander, cumin, rice concentrate, which also can be hard on the digestive system, citric acid. If it comes from lemons and citrus fruits, it's great, but most of it is not coming from that source. So something that we typically want to avoid unless we know where it's coming from. So I don't think that there's going to be any brands here at Harmon's that I would purchase at the next store that I'll take you to after our break. Today, I'll show you some options. Making it yourself is really easy. You just have to get the basic ingredients and then just kind of get into the habit of making your own. Okay, so now we've got salts here. So most people are familiar with the iodized salt from Morton. It has been iodized because there was the goiter belt, a bunch of states that were iodine deficient and were having thyroid disorders. And so the leaders at that time thought that it would be a good idea to add iodine to the salt to help mitigate this problem, which it did. But salt is meant to have minerals in it, and that salt is completely void of minerals. And so the sodium actually is not able to absorb properly in our system and can become a problem. So when you hear doctors tell you you need to avoid salt because of high blood pressure, it's because you're most likely, or these people are most likely consuming salt that do not have the minerals that help transport the sodium to where it needs to go. So minerals are cofactors. They are kind of the directional and the facilitators of getting nutrients to where they need to go. And they're very, very important in our system. So we got a few salts here. So real salt, an ancient coarse sea salt we've got there. And then the ones that have been blended up. This is a fantastic company. There are some reports out there that their products are contaminated, but it's not the case. I've read plenty of research studies from them, and they are a phenomenal company. I have used their salt for people that have been displaying conditions of dehydration, and you put a little bit of this on your tongue and you will feel very well hydrated and the symptoms go away. So that's definitely a great brand. I will be sending you guys a 10% off link or code. If you guys go to redmond.life, you can order this and then use the code NVH Summit. So NVH Summit for 10% off coupon code. That is the 10% off coupon code. Okay, so they've got some different flavors here. That's a fantastic brand. So, okay, moving on. Vanilla, if you're going to be using vanilla, get the extract and not the flavoring when it comes to any of these extracts. It's going to be better for your system. And then, for the most part, this brand is pretty good. Let's see. I think it's just basil. So yeah, it's just important. Just because it says organic on it doesn't mean that it's going to be good for you and void of any harmful ingredients. So I would just pick them up and just look them over, because you know, you would think smoked paprika is just smoked paprika, but there's oftentimes additives. So let me see if I can find an example. I don't know, I haven't really picked up these other brands. Okay, so there's one. Oh, let's see, can you see it? Okay, so it says chili powder, and you think, oh, it's just chili powder, right? But no, it's got chili pepper, spices, which they can hide MSG under spices, salt, silicon dioxide, which is the anti-caking agent, which we want to avoid, and garlic. So there's that example. Let's see. Chili powder. Let's see if I can find it. I guess the organic brand here does not have chili powder. Oh, here it is. Okay. So here is chili powder here. Ingredients: organic chili, pepper, organic spices, salt. Oh, this one does have silicon dioxide too. So I would just try and find one that is purely chili powder. So there's another example, organic, but yes, they still have a ton of additives that we want to avoid. Okay, so that's gonna just ring true with all the spices here. Another salt that's good, I don't see it here, is Celtic sea salt. That is really great for hydration. Himalayan pink salt. So a little note to the wise is they are using dynamite sticks to be able to blast the mines and be able to cultivate the salt better, so then it's contaminated with the residue of the blast. I just stay away from it, or you can do your research. If you have a favorite version of it, call them up and ask them how they are processing it to get it into the packaged form. So there's that. Okay, here we've got a ton of nuts, which are whole food. And if they're not organic, they most certainly have been sprayed with a fumigant. A fumigant is something that prevents mold from growing on them, just because they're typically cultivated and a little bit moist in the transit. And so they want to prevent the mold, and that's what the fumigant's for. So with these, if you do get ones that are not organic, that's fine. I mean, we have, I don't want you guys to be so afraid that you're like, I just don't feel like I can eat anything. So the hierarchy is, okay, you're going from a standard American diet where you are eating highly processed foods. That's going to be much worse for you than purchasing whole foods that are not organic and have these sprays on it. But then even better than that is obviously buying ones that are organic and ones that are pure from the additives that are causing problems. So when it comes to these nuts, they all have a soaking period because they do have a phytic acid barrier or anti-nutrients attached. And they also will be in the PDF that I will send you guys for those who have not received it yet. So, but they do have very great fat qualities that are important for our joints and our brain and hormone production as well. Okay, so now we're getting into the milk powders. As I mentioned yesterday, milk should only be consumed in the raw form unless you are getting some milk to ferment. Obviously not the ultra pasteurized because it will not ferment very well for you. But the cows are full of things that are found in their milk. So you'll get the growth hormones, you'll get the antibiotics, and the inflammatory markers because they're in a stress state. You'll get the pus. All that amazing stuff is going to be found in these types of products and in a concentrated form because they are powdered. So something to stay away from. All right, we got our coconut milks. Now there's lots of different versions of coconut here. This one is a really great alternative for condensed milk that you might use for apple pie or pumpkin pies or things like that. So that's one that I have used, but the rest of these, just scanning it with you guys. Yeah, I would avoid those. Okay, so now we've got the cake aisle. It's best to just make your cakes from scratch using sprouted flours, or you can take the flours that are not sprouted and just soak them overnight on your counter in milk or water, whatever the liquid is that you would normally add to the cake mix. That is what I do, and I'll show you, I'll give you a recipe tomorrow on pancakes, and then you can kind of follow the same type of thing with cakes or any type of baked goods. Okay. So over here, we've got vinegars. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say here. Bragg's was bought by Johnson & Johnson, I believe, or a company like that. So I'm not sure if they have changed the way that they produce it. That is typically the brand that I get. I just like that they're organic because apples are sprayed and can have the contaminants on there. But another note here, because it is apple cider vinegar, it has been fermented. And when you have a process of fermentation going on, you're going to have the living microbes breaking down any of the contaminants that are found within the product. So these, just because they're not organic, I would still probably use them. This one, I'm not sure, like, because there's no filament on the bottom. I would be leery of that one. This one, I don't know why it's hard to see through. But I would probably trust that one over the one that's super clear. But as you can see, like with the Bragg's, there's the filament on the bottom. It's called the mother. And you know that that is a very well naturally fermented apple cider vinegar. All right. We don't do a whole lot with the cooking wines. We have olive oils over here. Olive oils are best purchased in glass dark bottles because the phyto nutrients in it are sensitive to light. And so when you have an olive oil like this one that says pure, that's in a not only a clear bottle, but it's plastic as well, you're going to have more contaminants there, and it's going to be losing a lot of its nutritional value in it. So good rule of thumb is to find one in a glass dark bottle. The other thing that you need to know about oils, and I don't know if they are going to have any like this, but they will, okay, I got this one. They will actually mix in vegetable oils. So this one, refined olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. Okay, that's it. And they do not have to label it though. Some will have it labeled, but they don't have to label it if it's below a certain percentage of vegetable oil added to it, which is pretty crazy to me. So good rule of thumb would be to get organic. And see, this one says 100% extra virgin olive oil. So the 100% lets you know that it is pure. Okay. They are also mixing avocado oils. There was a study done where they took a bunch of different avocado oils that appear to just be olive oil. And when they dissected them, they found that a lot of them were filled with vegetable oils as well. So again, a good rule of thumb is to get one that says 100% pure avocado oil and is organic. All right, this is a heart attack waiting to happen right here, folks. This is what we were told was a healthier alternative to lard and butter and all the things that tasted delicious. And some of us listened and got rid of it and found that we were experiencing all sorts of health problems as a result. So these are not found in nature. Even the ones that say vegetable oils, it does not come from vegetable oils. And they have to be processed and then processed and then processed again to get it to look and smell palatable. See, we got this Crisco over here in the factories. It is a disgusting gray gunk that just smells nasty. And they have to continue to process it to filter out those things so that they can put it in this type of form. So do not use Crisco. Do not use the vegetable oils, canola oil. There is safflower and sunflower oils that are often found in cult foods. There are some good nutritional values to it if it is cold pressed and stored in a dark bottle. But if you look at the price tag, it goes right along, like, you know, the quality. So they are very pricey. But typically they're not processed that way and they go rancid really fast and become carcinogenic. I don't know a whole lot about the almond oil or sesame oils up here. This brand I'm not familiar with. Grapeseed oil is one we also need to avoid. Okay, so then there are those. All right, coconut oil, wonderful. Oh, I love this. Okay, so this is our aisle, guys, right here. This is our section of this aisle right here. So the coconut oil is a saturated fat, but there's studies out showing that people who consume coconut oil on a regular basis have better brain cognition because it goes in and it helps feed stuff that nourishes our brain. So great studies. If you want to look them up, you'll find several of them. Beef tallow, duck fat. This company, Epic, is fantastic. They are a very great company, so I highly recommend them. But these are going to be really good alternatives to any of the saturated like processed oils down there. Ghee is clarified butter. So when you heat up butter and you know how it kind of gets bubbles and solids on the top, if you remove those solids are what burn. What you're left is just the clear liquid, and that's ghee. So you can make your own ghee for a lot less than what they're asking you to pay here at the grocery store, but it's full of really good nutrients in it. So ham sprays, stay away from them. They are vegetable oils. They do have some. I don't ever use these. I just use butter and olive oil, 100% olive oil or 100% avocado oil. Or I do, when I get a really good quality bacon, I always save the fat and I will use that as well. Lard, if you guys have not used, not lard, but tallow, if you guys have not used tallow, it does have a really strong flavor to it. I don't really love it, but the nutritional value is there. So I do try and use it when I can. It's fantastic for your skin. and can be used to help prevent yourself from burning. All right, and then we've got all of this sweetened junk. Best if you're making, pumpkin pie, get the organic. But this pumpkin pie is a mix, so it's going to have all different things in it. So you can get a pumpkin and just make it pure. That's going to be the best and cheapest option right there, and then you can can it. All right. Okay, there's all these different mixes here for Jello, puddings. Just make it yourself. Go get a really good collagen or gelatin. I'm sorry, get a really good gelatin, and then use fruit juices. Fresh pressed would be amazing, but make it yourself. Even if you were to add like the natural sugars to it, it's going to be so much better for you than any of these packaged goods. Okay, I'm going to switch you over so we're not filming people. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's switch you over here. Okay. All right, so now we have the condiment section. So fun fact about condiments is our ancestors used to lacto ferment all of them. Our ketchup, our mustard, obviously our pickles were all lacto fermented because they would provide a probiotic rich base for the meals that we would eat. And when you are having like grilled hamburgers or hot dogs or chicken, with just the process of grilling it, or even when you're frying it on your pan and how it gets that Maillard effect, which is like the browning, it does create a carcinogenic property there. If you are not pairing it with a probiotic rich condiment, then it's a problem. I mean, obviously it's going to have to add up over time, but if you pair it with a probiotic rich condiment, the probiotics will neutralize the carcinogens in it, and then it's not a problem. So definitely a wise tradition that our ancestors used to use that we've gotten away from, because none of these are lacto fermented. They are created from using vinegar, which helps stimulate digestion, but you're not going to get probiotics. There is a brand that I may show you when we pass it called Bubbies, and it should have bubbles in it. They're teeny tiny bubbles, but it just shows you that they are, it does have living microbes in it. Okay. All of these Miracle Whips and mayonnaise are going to have vegetable oils in it. I had picked up, I don't know if they still have it. I had picked up one from a grocery store that said avocado oil mayonnaise and an olive oil mayo. Oh, here's one. I bet this is it. And then when I turned it over, their second ingredient is olive oil, but the third ingredient is canola oil. Fourth is soybean oil, then vinegar, starch. I mean, there's so much junk in here. So this is one of the marketing tactics companies will use that, consumers, if they don't know how to read the labels, they'll look at that and be like, oh, I know I'm supposed to avoid vegetable oil, so I'm going to avoid all of these, but I'm going to get the healthier choice, which is the olive oil mayo, not knowing that it's just as bad. Sneaky little tactic. This is a good brand here. So they've got, oh, no, I'm sorry. This one's not. I don't get this brand, but I thought they were good. No, they got the sunflower oil in it. So sunflower and safflower oil, again, it depends on what type they're using, but especially if it's heated, that's when it becomes carcinogenic. So this isn't a product that would be heated. So is it as bad as ones like chips that are heated? No, but still can create carcinogenic, or not carcinogenic, but inflammatory processes. So this is the brand that I get here if I don't make it myself. So this one has olive oil, organic vinegar, organic eggs, organic egg yolks, salt, rosemary extract. Now we talked about this the other day. I didn't realize that it has rosemary. So yesterday I was talking about how they are hiding MSG and other contaminants in the rosemary extract. And so I will call this company and find out if they are using that mustard seed extract. Mayonnaise is actually really easy to use. You can just get your fat of choice. So whether it's avocado oil or a really good olive oil, I made it even with bacon fat and butter. You have to do like a half and half of like a liquid oil with a solid oil to get a good consistency. But then you'll start out with the egg yolk at the bottom of your jar. And then I have like a food processor. I don't know what it's called. It's like the food processor that has the stick and you put in the jar. And then you'll add in your fats and your flavorings and whatever it is you want to add into it. And then you just start slow at the bottom and mix it. And then as it mixes in the bottom and starts to turn white, then you slowly start to bring it up in the jar. And then you'll have your mayonnaise. Now, there was one time that I used all these very expensive ingredients and made my mayonnaise, and then it separated, and I was so sad. But then I did a Google search and I found a trick that worked perfectly, where you just get another container, you put in about a teaspoon of water, and then start slowly pouring in your mayonnaise as you're mixing the water with the mayonnaise, and then it will reconstitute it, which works like a charm. Okay. Most of the salad dressings, actually, I have not found hardly any, maybe just a couple that don't have things that we need to avoid. So here's Brianna's organic, let's see. Apple cider vinegar, canola oil. So there we go. And it's got spices and sulfates, xanthan gum. These are all things that we want to avoid. Let's see, this brand, organic balsamic vinaigrette, has vegetable oil as the #1 ingredient. And then look at that long list right there. So definitely something we want to avoid. What about Primal Kitchen? So we've got avocado oil, water, organic red wine vinegar, organic stone ground mustard, organic mustard seed, organic vinegar, salt, organic spices, sea salt, garlic, lemon juice concentrate, pepper, celery seed, mustard, flour, gum, acai, organic gar gum, citric acid. So the two things here to just pay attention to: gar gums, some people are sensitive to them. They are a gum, and so they can build up inside our system. So, and then citric acid, we don't know where it's coming from. Is it coming from corn, or is it coming from actual citric acid type foods? So those are two ingredients. And I'm like, I can make it and know that it's a lot more pure, and salad dressings are very easy to make. Let's see. Skinny girl, let's see, fat free. Okay, so the majority of us know that fat free is not good for us. We know that if we go fat free, we are going to lose our hormone production. We're going to lose our cognitive function. Those are the two things that decline the fastest with fat free. And we saw that with the fat free, no fat or low fat movement that we went through several decades ago. So, and fat does not make us fat. That's also a misnomer. So here we go. She's got water, cider vinegar, maltodextrin, which we want to avoid, lemon juice concentrate, salt, poppy seed, cellulose gel, no, dried onion, mustard, flour, xanthan gum, which is also no, sucralose, no, titanium dioxide, no, potassium sorbate, no, calcium disodium, no. So this is a product that people will be like, oh, I want to lose weight, I want to be healthy, this looks like a great option. If you don't know that you don't know, you could be getting something that is causing more problems and not reap the benefits that you're looking for. So, all right. So I think that's pretty good for this section. Oh, here's mustards. So when I started reading labels, I was actually shocked that a lot of mustards have sugar in them. So distilled vinegar, mustard seed, salt, turmeric, paprika, spice, natural flavors. So it could have MSG. Oh, this one does not have sugar in it. There were several brands I picked up that had sugar in it. You can make your own lacto fermented mustard. I have never done that. It is on my to-do list, but I'll just try and find a brand that's pure. and organic. So we've got this one: organic distilled vinegar, water, mustard seed, turmeric, paprika, organic spices. So because it's organic spices, I'm going to trust it more than if it just said spices, because spices have things hidden in them that we do not want. Okay, so let's see. Any questions so far? We're going to find another aisle to go down. All right, let's go down this one. We got tuna fish, fish aisle here. Okay, so we have all these different options for tuna fish, which is, I love it. It's delicious. We've got a couple brands that I love. So Wild Planet is a really great option. They fish in the areas of the sea that are less contaminated with the heavy metals, versus if you were to get like tuna fish like the Starkiss, they are not going to be free from heavy metals as much as the Wild Planet. This is another one from Wild Planet that is a good option as well. Let's see. Sardines are amazing. I love them and my kids love them. But I will look for one that is from Wild Planet, just again, because I know the company, it's sustainably caught as well. So they have limits on how often they can go out. So they're protecting the environment. So just an all around fantastic company. Okay, now we've got the different rices here. So white rice obviously is not going to have a whole lot of vitamins and minerals in it just because it's got the outside layer pulled off, where we have like the different colored rices, which can get more expensive, but the different colors in them, so like this one's a little bit green, this one's black, the different colors are going to have a different vitamin complex. And so if you're trying to get as many different nutrients in your diet as possible, it's kind of fun to play around with them. You'll get all the different colors in the Wild blend, which I really love. Lundberg is a rice that's from California, which is a much better brand and option than the other brands that could be full of arsenic. So rice is oftentimes contaminated with arsenic coming out of China. And so if it is not from the United States, I typically don't get it. So there's that. We've got different spices. I don't typically use these, so I can't really tell you much about them. Seaweed is really great if you guys like the taste of seaweed. We do have the rice noodles. So I feel like it's okay to have some rice noodles. Yes, they're going to have some higher starches in them, but like if you're making a really good bone broth soup and you want some noodles, if you're getting a brand that is made with rice from the United States, then I think that you'll be just fine. So, let's see. Sorry, I have people who are shopping close to me. All right, liquid aminos is a really great soy sauce substitute. So soy sauce can have a lot of the sodium in it from the iodized salt, and it's not properly prepared, and so you're not going to get the benefits that the traditionally created and made soy sauce will have. So liquid aminos is a really great option there. I do use these sushi pads when making sushi rolls, which are good. I'm not as familiar with this aisle. Let's see. There's coconut aminos is also another great substitute for soy sauce, and I use that often. To switch over here. Okay. I'm just gonna. Okay, this is another really good brand that I've used too for the tamari sauce. So that one is a good brand. Okay, so now we're going to be coming over here. So this is a Bubby's brand of the lacto fermented pickles that I was talking about, and they've got sauerkraut too. So I think that they have changed it slightly because there used to be more bubbles in it, and they're really hard to see. I'm going to see if I can find one. Let's see. They may have changed it. Oh, no, there's a little air bubble there. I don't know if you can see it. So let's see. Trying to figure it out. I mean, they're really small. So like right there is a little air bubble. So you know that there is some microbial stuff going on inside there. And then this one is no preservatives, fermented, no added sugar. That's what we're looking for. So cabbage, water, and salt is all you need to make sauerkraut. It's super easy to do. So
Are we getting sauerkraut?
we can mix it tonight. Okay. All right. I'm just going to show you a few more things because I know the hour is up. We got to take a break so I can go to the other store. All right. So actually, you know what? We can do the milk and stuff at the next store that we go to. So I'm going to end this right now, and then we'll take an hour break. I'm going to go to another store and we'll go over things. But if you guys have any recipes that you want me to revamp, so like a family favorite recipe that you know has ingredients that aren't the best, but you want me to show you how to swap out ingredients so we can create the same type of thing, but more of a nutrient dense version, send that into my email right now. And then at the other grocery store we go to, I can show you how to get the ingredients for it. And then we'll actually make some of them tomorrow for tomorrow's live. So it's going to be fun. I'm excited to do that part. So I don't know about you guys, but there's certain foods I'm like, I don't want to get rid of this because it's been in my family for so long, and it has, you know, there's a lot of emotional component to it. And so it's been fun to be able to learn how to swap out the different ingredients so that I can still make it and still enjoy it and love it. But know that it's nourishing my family. So, all right, you guys, let me see, were there any questions? I'm gonna go through the chat really quick. Oh yeah, somebody mentioned kelp noodles or cognac noodles. Yeah, I've used those. You gotta activate the kelp noodles with citric acid. So make sure you're using citric acid that comes from citrus fruit. And I really enjoy those. Those are really good. I'm a dark chocolate girl. I love it, Liana. All right. Able to label your time. Tempeh, I don't know much about that. I think tempeh is naturally fermented. So I will get back with you on that. I have never had it before, so I can't tell you for sure. But oh yeah, it is fermented. Somebody, Julie said. Yeah. Yeah, so if it's fermented soy, it's fantastic. Definitely enjoy that if you like it. Okay. Do I recommend bone broth or soy protein isolates? So bone broth, yes, but it depends on what your goal is. If you are going towards like healing, like if you have gastrointestinal problems and you need to heal and seal your gut, then you need meat stock and not bone broth. So the difference is meat stock has been boiled for just a few hours with a lot of the skin and connective tissue and things of this nature. And it's going to give you a higher like collagen rich herb-based broth when you're done. So like when you set it in the fridge and you go to get it, you know how it feels like it's made of collagen. That's what you want because collagen goes in and helps heal and seal the gut. Bone broth has a lot of great minerals in it, but it's kind of like sandpaper in the system when you're trying to heal. So just because the bones have been boiling for a really long time, or you can do 24, 48, some people do a 3-day boil of the bones, it pulls out all the minerals, which again is great, but not if you're healing. So And then soy protein isolates, no, I do not recommend those just because soy needs to be fermented. Okay.
Let's throw my hat on.
All right. Okay, I think that's it for right now. So I will get back on around 3 o'clock. So we're gonna be in another store from 3 to 4. Send in those recipes if you would like me to transform them for you, and I'll see you guys soon. Okay, see ya. Okay, we're at the next store. We'll wait for people to join. I had a few people stare at me funny at the other store, and that's okay. My comfort zone, that's okay. Not doing it for me, I'm doing it for you guys. All right. All right, well, I'm gonna get started and everybody will get the recording. So I want to just start off in the milk section here and go over the different milk options that they have. So let me turn this around. Actually, here, will you hold this for me? Yes. All right. Okay, so when it comes to milk, obviously raw is best, but you can also cold trick yourself. Raw obviously is not very easy to find in a lot of places. I did give you that resource of realmilk.com that you can find your local raw milk source, which is a fantastic resource. That will also be in the PDF that I'm going to send you. But if you can't get raw milk, then organic is best to get next, as long as it's not ultra pasteurized. You do not want to get ultra pasteurized. I don't know if they have any here. Yeah, so here's a milk right here. So it's Alexander Echo Dairy. It is organic here. They are certified regenerative. All these are great. However, they're missing the boat. They know the marketing terms that are going to get people to spend more money on this product, which is why they have changed their operations, but they don't know much about nutrition. If they did, they wouldn't have produced this milk the way that they did because they ultra pasteurized it. And the reason that they ultra pasteurize is because it stays on the shelf for so long, like I mentioned yesterday. So this one is good until August 11th, 2025. Have you ever bought milk that lasted that long? Like, it's not, no, unless it's ultra pasteurized. And so these companies know that they could produce a lot more and they can leave it on the shelf and it's not going to go bad. You were moving that phone all over. It's not going to go bad, and so then they make profits. So, but the whole purpose of producing food should be to nourish the population, and that is not what they're doing. So this one actually, when it's ultra pasteurized, won't even grow bacteria in it, so you can't make yogurt or kefir or things of that nature. Okay. Hey, Bailey. Here, hold it again, but hold it. Stop bumping all over. I can't do this all by myself. Okay, so. I'll get to that one next. Okay, so we have some different alternatives. So this one, origin oftentimes could be confused with organic. So it is not organic, but people will sometimes grab it thinking that it is. But it is 100% A2. The Guernese cow, which has more of a fatty content, it's a more nutrient dense form of milk, or cow that produces the most nutrient dense form of milk. So it is grass pastured, cream on the top, and vat pasteurized. So vat pasteurized is a really great alternative to ultra pasteurized. It's lower temp and it's going to still have some microbes in it. And then this one is also non-homogenized. So if you remember yesterday, the homogenization process puts it through a really high pressured unit that separates the fat molecules, so that instead of separating and the cream rising to the top, it stays mixed. So, but then it also gets the fat molecule so small that it can get stuck in our arteries and cause inflammation. So definitely not something that we want. So getting something that is not homogenized is perfect. So even though this one's not organic, I would still choose it. And it can be fantastic to make your kefirs and your yogurt with, because those microbes, if there's any contaminants in it, they will eat it up. The other thing too is I have not looked into this company, but sometimes they just don't want to pay for the organic label, and so they'll just put their product on the market. Oh, sorry, I'm doing something weird here. Okay, so they'll just put their product on the market without the organic label, even though they have organic practices, just because they don't want to pay the extra for that label on there. Put that one back. I'll hand it to you and you can put it back. Okay. Here's another brand that is really good. This is the Kalana brand. So this one is low temp pasteurized, which is similar to vat pasteurization. It is from grass-fed cows, regenerative farm, and organic. So this is a really good option, and it's a lot easier to find. So there's that. They have, let me turn you around here. So I'll get their cream because it's really hard to find raw cream. So they've got that. And then their buttermilk is also great. So there's that. Goat milk is another great alternative that you can have if you are allergic to cow's milk. I don't really love the taste of it unless it's from unless it's from goats that are producing milk in the spring and in the fall. So for whatever reason, when their milk is, I think it has more to do with if they're not in the heat, then their milk doesn't taste as goaty, if that's an actual word. And it tastes more similar to cow's milk. So there's a little tip right there. Okay, so let's turn you around again. Okay, so now we've got like the silk creamer, which is a dairy alternative. All right, so let's see what's in here. So we talked about soy, how it's an endocrine disruptor. So for that reason, we want to stay away from it. This one has palm oil, depending on where it is sourced, can possibly be something to avoid. Not quite sure on this one. Maltodextrin, we want to avoid. It's got that lecithin, which is the emulsifier again from the soy. Natural flavors can have that MSG, tapioca starch, bean, and gum. These are things that can build up in our system, and something that we want to avoid as well. So even though it looks like a healthier alternative, it is not. We've got one here that's organic cream or coconut milk. Let's see what it has. So coconut milk, organic coconut cream, cane sugar, coconut oil, potassium citrate, which not the best. Organic pea protein isolate. That could be okay. Sodium citrate, not the best. And then the gum as well as natural flavors. Again, we don't know what is hidden in that natural flavor. So it may be a good product. That's fine. May not be. Okay, we got the almond coconut creamer. Coconut cream, almonds, acai gum, which is gum we want to avoid. The potassium phosphate, we want to avoid. Sunflower lecithin, and then the gum there again. So there's just a lot of additives that keep it thick, number one, and keep it from separating, number two, and then preservatives to keep it lasting longer. Okay, and then we have oat milk. Let's see, sweetened. So remember, oats are really hard to digest unless they are really well fermented. So this one's got the oat milk, hydrolyzed oats. Anything that says hydrolyzed, we want to stay away from. It's got the the canola oil, which you want to think that there would be canola oil in milks, but yet it is in a lot of them, actually, unfortunately. Calcium carbonate, potassium citrate, the gum that we want to avoid. Not sure why there's baking soda in there, but okay. I think we covered a lot of them. Our juices are delicious. However, they have the fiber removed, and the fiber helps slow down the absorption of the sugars into our bloodstream. And so we are having fruit juice, we want to have that fiber. Otherwise, it's equivalent to a soda going in and spiking our blood sugar. So here we've got the Silk brand. Avoid the Silk brand in general. All right, so we've got almonds, cane sugar, the synthetic vitamins and minerals that they added in there, and then natural flavor. We got the gums in there as well as ascorbic acid. So it's not a health food at all. It's really easy to make nut and seed milks on your own. I can show you guys how to do that tomorrow as well. Oh, we got flax milk. So flax seeds goes rancid really fast. So the fact that it's in a milk, I would be weary of. Definitely not something that's going to have, it's going to have a ton of preservatives to keep it from going rancid. We got the oat and cashew milks here as well. Milk walnut, I've never seen that before. Let's see. Filtered water and walnuts. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what you want. Okay, so this is a good alternative here. Filtered water and hazelnuts for this one. Milked oats. Got the water and the salt in the oats there. I wonder if they ferment them or let it soak overnight. I wonder if they let all these soak overnight. I don't know. I'm gonna look into this company and find out. So, all right. So there's a good dairy alternative right there. Okay. So then if you want to make your own and you don't see tomorrow's, if you want to make your own nut and seed milks, all you have to do is add, I do about 1 to 3 cups, depending on how thick I want it to be. And I do this also with coconut shreds, like the unsweetened organic coconut shreds. And then I will fill my Vitamix. I have a Vitamix up with water, about 1 inch from the top. So I think it's about 8 cups of water in there. And then I will just blend it until the outside feels warm. And then I will use like an old t-shirt or a bread cloth, and I will separate the milk from the pulp. And then you have that. When you do that with coconut, if you do it that way and put it in the fridge, it's going to separate and solidify at the top. That's like the coconut cream, which is delicious. You can make that into whipped creams or whatever you choose to use it in. But if you want to use it for things that you just want to be able to pour it without having to mix it each time, then if you add in sprouted pumpkin seeds, and I do about 1/4 cup, for whatever reason, that's an emulsifier. It's a natural emulsifier, and it stays mixed. So, I mean, it will still separate, but it's not going to harden on the top. So it's easy to just take out and shake, and you're good to go. So, all right, I'm going to show you this. This is a really good company. You can buy these online. I'm at Natural Grocers right now, but this Cultures for Health is a really good brand. So they've got all the different ferments for, you got sourdough, gluten-free sourdough, which I've never made, but would be kind of a fun little experiment. We got Greek yogurt, and then regular yogurt. Although you don't need a culture to make that, you can actually just use a regular yogurt. I'll show you some brands here in a minute to make it. And we got a sour cream, a soy-free tempeh. So as you were asking, one of you guys asked earlier, the tempeh, is it okay? Yes, because it is fermented and it neutralizes the hard things to digest in the soy product. So, all right, now we've got a bunch of non-dairy cheeses. They're all likely to have soy in them or additives that are not the best. I haven't found one I read the ingredients of and thought, well, this is great. So if any of you guys know of one, let me know and I'll share it with the community. I have not been able to find one. Okay, so now we have all the different options of cheese, and the best form of cheese is the raw cheese. So we've got right here, Organic Valley raw sharp cheese. We got that one. Let's see, there's a few others over here. The raw mild cheddar there. We also have a sharp cheese. So, Kerrygold is a good brand. It's not raw, but it is made from cows that are eating rapidly growing grass, which is going to have higher vitamin A, K2 in it. by nature, which they work synergistically together for people who have the VDR mutation, which most people in the United States have a VDR mutation. I don't know about Europe. I'm sure there's a lot of it over there as well, but this mutation prevents us from being able to properly absorb vitamin D. And I mean, we all know what vitamin D deficiency looks like. So what we have to do is we have to have the cofactors because we lack the ability to make the transitions in the food that we eat to create the vitamin A and K2. So if we take it in supplement form through whole food products or have it in whole foods, so like the raw milk can contain it in the fall and the spring. Liver contains it. There's a few foods that do. You can also supplement with it. But that way the vitamin D can be absorbed and go to where it needs to go. So we have two things to know about the vitamin D. Number one is, I mean, obviously if we get our blood tested and we're low, we know we need more. But then some people will have all the symptoms for vitamin D deficiency, but when they get their blood tested, it looks like it's fine. The reason is they still have a vitamin D deficiency, but the vitamin D is free flowing in the blood. And so the blood, you know, the samples detect, oh, there's some there. However, it's not getting into where it needs to go. And so you're still deficient. So just something to keep in mind. So if you go get that blood work done and you're like, I feel like I have vitamin D deficiency and it comes back fine, you still may. So another good reason to eat liver. So, okay, going back to the food. Okay, so now we've got the different butters here. It's hard to find raw butter. It can be found, but yeah, like I said, very, very hard to find. And if you find it, it's very expensive. So I like to go for like the Kerrygold brand is a great brand that I will get often. I will get Organic Valley as well. So they're just going to have a higher nutrient count. These buttery plant sticks, they are made with the oils. So we've got expeller pressed organic oil, coconut oil, palm oil, canola oil, high oleanic sunflower oil. So those we want to avoid. It's got the sunflower lecithin and natural flavors to enhance. So the MSG enhances the way things taste. And so that is why it is in there. And then the annatto extract we also want to avoid. So there's nothing good about the plant-based butter spread. All of those are going to be there. I've never seen goat milk butter before. This is new. Let's see. Pasteurized goat milk, salt, and natural flavors. Wonder what's in that natural flavors. All right. Oat milk butter. Oh, first ingredient is that sunflower oil. So we'll put that one back right there. Okay, so now we have the fermented dairy. It is not organic, but it is fermented, and that's fine because we've got the living microbes that we're able to consume any harmful bugs in it and any toxins that were allowed in it. So I will oftentimes get the Organic Valley. I also, as I mentioned, really love the Kelowna. I think that's how you say it, Kelowna brand. That is great. We've got the Nancy's probiotic sour cream. So all sour creams have the living bacteria. I think all of them do, but I could be wrong in that. So got alternative sour cream. This one has almond milk, coconut oil, rice starch, coconut milk, maltodextrin you want to avoid. Rowan berry extract. I've never heard of that. Chickpea protein, sea salt cultures. I mean, not terrible. Okay. All right, now we have the yogurts. So what I always look for is it 100% grass-fed and organic? So fats are going to have the highest amount of toxins in them because they are, like a lot of the toxins are fat soluble. And so if something has lower amounts of fat, it's not going to have as many toxins as full fat foods. And so because it is a probiotic like that yogurt and these yogurts over here are probiotic rich, it will consume some of those toxins, but it is obviously best to go for the organic if you can afford it, just so that you are being extra safe and protected. So wallaby has a lot of sugar in it. but it's a decent brand. So this one's got the pasteurized whole organic milk, cane sugar, natural flavors. I don't know what is in, oh, and it's got the bean gum. So yeah, I actually would stay away from this one. Let's look at Strauss. Okay, all right, I'm gonna lower it. Okay, trying to make sure that I can read it and you guys can read it too. Okay, so pasteurized organic whole cream, sweet cream, buttermilk, living yogurt cultures, and then the cultures L. acidophilus, albophoris, L-thermophil, and bifidobacterium lactis. So those are all different microbes that make the yogurt. So those are all great. So this is a really good option right here. So it is the Strauss brand, and it is organic. You have a vanilla. Let's see what's in here. So they use the cane sugar to sweeten it, vanilla extract, and everything else is vanilla syrup. I don't know what the vanilla syrup means. Oh, cane syrup and the extract that they use. So it's okay. It's got, I'm sure, just the regular white sugar in it. So it's best actually to just get like the plain. So like I'll get this one and drizzle on honey and berries. So it's got a little bit of sweetness, but it's from natural sources. So I'm not using the sugar because it can add up really fast. Okay, we've got the sheep milk yogurt. So this one is the plain. I will get this one. So it's got the pasteurized organic. Oh, this one's not the sheep. Let's see. There is one right here. Sorry. Pasteurized sheep milk, the live active cultures there. And that is it. So that one is a great alternative if you can't do the dairy milk and want something you can have. Let's see. And then we got the Soy Delicious brand. Again, like I haven't found any Soy Delicious products that I thought had good ingredients. Let's see, this one's coconut milk, rice starch, pectin, calcium phosphate. Okay, so we're just getting into some of these things that has the gum in it as well. So you can make your own coconut yogurt. I have not done that, but I've talked to people that have had great success with it. So maybe that is something that they will do for you and then let you know how it goes. So, all right, I think that's good for yogurts. We've got kefirs. People are turning to kefirs, which is a really great probiotic for you. It's best to make it yourself because you're not really going to find a plain kefir. I think this one may be a plain kefir. And then you can sweeten it yourself. So yeah, that just has the enzymes, the bacteria and the milk. So milk kefir is actually super easy to make and not very scary if you talk to somebody. So I'll explain that in a minute, how to make it. Let's just go through this one really quick. So this one has the cane sugar and vanilla extract, which is fine. And it's organic cane sugar. So there you go. But it's going to not have the minerals in it and be pulling minerals out of you. There's another plain kefir that's great. So kefir, if you have a kefir grain, sometimes you can find people online, like we have places where, like a marketplace where people can sell stuff used. Oftentimes you can find somebody who's selling kefir grains. And all you do is you just put it on your counter with milk. So I'll use the best version of milk I can get. So hopefully it's organic and unpasteurized. If I can't get that, then organic. I'm sorry, not organic, but not ultra pasteurized will be my next option because you have to feed it. But I have some right now that have not been fed. It's been about a week and a half and it's still sitting on my counter and it's going to be super sour, which is fine, but it's still good. Like you can't go wrong. I've never had a batch of kefir go wrong ever. And I think the longest I've ever let it sit on my counter was about 4 weeks where I didn't feed it and it did dissolve the grains and I killed my starter because you have to feed it. It eats the lactose from the milk that you feed it. So, but if I put it in the fridge, it might have lasted longer. I don't know how long it will last. So definitely something to try though, because it's super easy and it's a great probiotic and is going to give you lots of nutrients. And I love adding fresh fruits to it in the morning with smoothies, and I'll add in like chia seeds and flax seeds to it, just whatever superfoods I have laying around. So it's really fast and easy for a quick breakfast. All right. So, okay, here we got more of the lacto fermented probiotics. So. Okay, Bailey's going to tell you all about them.
Yeah. So sauerkraut is a delicious and very nutritious substance. Comes as outweighs, and it helps with your heart, your bones, your brain. If you look up the nutrition value of sauerkraut, it will show you a list of things that prove on why it is like a good thing for you to eat. It may not smell best, but it tastes awesome. And these 5% in my opinion.
Yeah. All right, so we've got some raw versions. So this is what makes or breaks sauerkraut. If it is raw and it's got the living microbes, that's where we're going to get the benefit, especially when it comes to having like grilled foods and meats. But a lot of the sauerkrauts that you'll find on the shelf that are in the cold section, they have been boiled and all the living enzymes are destroyed in them. So those are ones we want to stay away from. And then earlier we mentioned kelp noodles. This is the kelp noodle right here, and that's the one you have to add citric acid to. So just make sure that is citric acid from citrus fruit and not corn. Those, okay, let's see. We have the cereal section here. And honestly, I've not been able to find a single cereal that meets the Weston A. Price Foundation standard. This one comes closest just because it is sprouted. But in Sally Fallon's book, she warns about puffed grains, which this obviously has puffed grains. But other than that, it's got an sprouted whole fruit, brown rice, organic coconut sugar, and unrefined salt. Tocopherol, which is fine. That's a vitamin E and it is a preservative, but that's like the only preservative that I'm aware of that is one that you are okay with. So I do get this for my kids just because at times we just want to have a quick cereal. So it is one of the best on the market. But most of the granolas are typically really good in theory, but then when you look at the ingredients, there's usually the vegetable oils that they use to prepare it in, which we want to avoid. And I'll show you that here. All right, so here's the Kind brand. So we've got oats, tapioca syrup, which we don't want, cane sugar, brown rice, millet, cranberries, raspberries, chia seeds, buckwheat, canola oil, there we go. Amaranth molasses, natural flavors, we don't know what's in that. Quinoa, brown rice syrup, which we don't want, sea salt, and then the vitamin E, which is fine. So let's see, we got Purely Elizabeth. Let's see what they have. Okay, so we got organic certified gluten-free oats, organic coconut sugar, that's great. Coconut oil, that's great. Dried blueberries, awesome. Cane sugar, sunflower oil, come on. So the dried blueberries are blueberries, cane sugar, and sunflower oil. Why? Like so close. And then organic sunflower seeds, organic puffed amaranth. Again, we want to stay away from puffed as much as possible. Organic hemp seeds and organic quinoa flakes, organic chia seeds, organic cinnamon sea salt. So that one is so close. So, I mean, if I was in a rush, this is probably a better option than the rest of these. Let's see, there's another well-known Cascadia Farms. It's got whole grain oats, cane sugar, raisins, rice, sunflower oil. There we go. Molasses, cinnamon, sea salt, natural flavors. We don't know what's in that, and vitamin E. So close once again, but they are missing the boat. They are a food manufacturer and not a health coach. So let's see about this one. Okay, we've got organic oats, organic coconut oil, organic date powder, cashew butter, cashews, sea salt, cocoa powder, rosemary. Okay, there we go. Oh, monk fruit. Depends on if it's just straight up monk fruit or monk fruit extract. I don't know. I don't know on that one. Okay, so there's that one. Like I said, with monk fruit, it's one of the it's in the iffy zone right now. There's not a lot of research on it right now to be able to let us know for sure whether it is a good alternative or sugar-free. But as of right now, though, like I said, the only research study that I have been able to find that was substantial enough did show testicular shrinkage that was in significant degrees in mice. So that's about it. Okay, let's see. We are in the meat section. So there are a lot of vegetarian and vegan options on the market, but our body needs animal proteins. It is really hard to be optimally healthy if you are not eating animal protein, and it is hard work. You have to know how to get all of your balanced macros, and nature wants to make things as easy as possible. And so if you eat something like organic chicken, you are going to get all the macros that you need as far as the essential amino acids. So, I mean, it's a lot easier to pair this with a bunch of vegetables and some grains and get everything that you need versus getting 50 different foods in order to balance it out through avoiding meat. Applegate here is a really great brand. I do get their products here. I mean, Sally would probably tell you to avoid the luncheon meat, but I mean, I've got 5 kids and sometimes we need sandwiches and fast. So this is one that I will get. It's got the pork broth, honey, contains less than 2% of the following: cane sugar, sea salt, cultured celery powder, rosemary extract. Again, that rosemary extract is an exclamation point right there. We don't know what's in it. I guess it's more of a question mark, right? Like exclamation, like warning, you gotta look into this, but question mark, like what does it represent? So that is one that I actually just found out about recently and was pretty sad about. Okay, this one is all right. One that I have gotten. So this one has the chicken breast, sea salt, vinegar, and powder, and organic pepper. So this is a really great option right here for fast food. I mean, it is $8 for 6 ounces, so it does get pricey. It's best to just cook your own chicken and then store it. It's going to save you some money, but if you need something fast, that's a great alternative. All right, moving on. There are some really great brands out there now, which I'm so happy about with hamburger meat. So let's see, is this the one? No. Okay, so Thousand Hills is a regenerative agriculture, but they do have one which may be sold out at the moment that does have the organ meats in it. Yeah, they're sold out, but it will say usually like down here that they'll add the liver and the heart and I think sometimes kidney. I can't remember if they have kidney or not, but it's nice because then you can't really taste the organ meats, but you know you're getting some every time you have hamburger, which my family and I have hamburger a lot. Okay, so then when it comes to bacon, there's always a lot of things in it. So this one is just pork, water, sea salt, celery powder, and cherry powder. Some people might argue that celery powder is something to question as well. I am not going to go that deep because it's getting so complicated. So oftentimes bacon will have a lot of additives to it. So I think that one's a great one. They have another one that has turbinado Oh, let me grab it. This one has turbinado sugar in it, which I feel is fantastic if you want, you know, a bacon that's a little bit sweet. This one, yeah, it's got the turbinado and celery powder in it as well. So those are some really great options if you want bacon and you don't want all the contaminants in it. Okay, let's see. Where to next? Okay, so here we got the oats. So look at the difference here. So here we got the steel cut oats right here. Just the whole grain just cut up. This one's delicious. I love that one. And then you've got like the rolled oats here, the extra thick oats. And then this is my favorite right here. We've got the sprouted organic rolled oats from 1 Degree. So if I am making granola, I will get this brand and it is phenomenal. Really enjoy that one. If I am making oatmeal, like steel cut oats or the rolled oats to make oatmeal, if you soak it overnight with a little bit of, you can either add a little bit of vinegar or lemon juice to the water. That's enough to neutralize it. So I will do it overnight. You can do it longer. The longer it soaks, the better it breaks it down. So you can kind of play around with it. I probably want to do it longer than 24 hours. That is the longest I've let it go. But then once it's done, you can drain it. You don't have to, but I like to drain it and then fill it up with more water. You're obviously going to use less water. If you're doing the steel cut oats, you can add a bunch of water. That's totally fine. And then just drain it off when it's done cooking. If it is rolled oats, obviously you don't want to have to drain it off, but you can. And then just add the toppings of your choice. Trying to figure out where to go next. Oh, Bailey wants to show you the teas. Okay, let's show you the teas. There's not a whole lot to say in this section other than organic is better. Nettle leaf is fantastic. It's a detoxifier. I'll show you in the bulk bin section. They do sell it as the leaf. It's really great to use as much as you can. I don't remember all the properties to it, but the list is long. Definitely look it up, and it's probably going to be one of your new favorites to add in. It doesn't have a whole lot of taste to it, so you can hide it in without knowing that it's in there. Is there anything else about this section, Bailey?
Well, dandelion tea is delicious.
Oh, yeah.
Some milk.
So dandelion tea, which is right here, it actually helps detoxify the liver. The liver loves it. Our liver is constantly needing to be detoxified, and this is a great alternative. And Bailey is right. I love adding raw milk to my tea, so I got to make sure that it's not super hot so it doesn't kill the living bacteria in the raw milk, but add in some raw honey and some milk or cream, and it is delicious.
Yeah, the ginger is also very good for you and very good to eat. Drink.
Yes, it's very good aid for your stomach. In fact, if you ever get nauseous, ginger is your go-to. All right. We'll just do a couple more aisles here. See what did we not cover in the other. Okay, let's go to noodles. Okay, so here's our noodle section. I have only found one noodle that was sprouted and heirloom, and everything about it was fantastic except for the price. So obviously the more specialized you're going to get in these things, the more of a price is going to come with it. So if you are having noodles every once in a while, it's fine. Our bodies are resilient. I will actually, I have a rule in my house. It's the 80-20 rule. And if you guys know about the 80-20 principle, it's fantastic. You can apply this in all areas of your life, but 80% of the week, if you're eating really good nutrient dense foods, then 20% of the week you can eat things that are not the best for you. And then your body can cope. The body can be like, okay, like you gave me some junk and that's fine. Like I can break it down and I can get rid of it for you. So just as long as you're not putting in so much junk that the body's getting overwhelmed to the point where it's starting to store things in your joints and your connective tissue, causing inflammation, breaking down things of this type of thing. So we want to avoid that. So follow the 80-20 rule. Pasta is delicious and I don't want to live without it. I don't know about you guys, but we want to find the healthiest version of pasta. So here we go. All right, so we've just got, you know, the regular brands here. If you get brands from Europe, they are made pretty well. Oh, this one right here says made with fermented grains to support gut health. What? I have not seen this one. And it is only $3.50. You guys. Nice. Okay, let's see. So it's got organic durum wheat, semolina. I don't even know how to say that. Semolina. I know it's in a lot of things, and I have a hard time with that word. Organic sourdough starter, organic emmer flour, filtered water, contains wheat. Oh, you guys, that is amazing. Ooh, I'm getting that. Okay, so then I wonder, is this one the same? Doesn't say fermented. Nope, not fermented. So, and the price is, it's $3.35 versus, let's see, $3.59. So I'm gonna go with the one that is good for my gut. Okay, so then we got some, let's see, grain-free options. We got the chickpeas. They are not going to be properly prepared. Chickpeas can be hard on the digestive system, but they are a decent alternative if you cannot have gluten. They are a decent alternative, I will have to say, as far as like holding up and being close to the right consistency. So, but they will have some of the phytic acid. So with the regular, if it's not fermented, we've got a bunch of different flour, so cassava, flour, and water. There is just a high starch and can cause problems for some people's gut. So bacteria, really adverse bacteria specifically, really love starch. And so if you have a gut problem, they're going to feast off of that. So that's why you'd want to avoid a bunch of the starches. I have never heard of farfel. Organic brown rice water. Okay, so there's a brown rice alternative there for you, which they get soft really fast and it's easy for you to overboil them. So if you are having a brown rice pasta, make sure that you're watching it carefully and just following the instructions. We've got the Jovial brand here with the einkorn. So this one is great. It is $4.25 for this, but so you know that you're going to be getting some of the good nutrients here. And if you pair it with a good probiotic, then that can help as well in the digestive process. So that is one that I have gotten. And we've got the brown rice pasta alternatives there. All right, this one is made with corn, brown rice, and quinoa. And it is organic, so the corn cannot be genetically modified, which is awesome. But corn, as we said before, is really hard to digest. And I bet it doesn't have lime in it to break down the corn. Yeah, it's corn flour, brown rice, flour, and then quinoa. So I would stay away from that one. Let's see about this lentil one. So red lentil and quinoa. All right, that's basically what's in it. So that one's not a bad option right there. So there's not going to be a whole lot of phytic acids on quinoa. It actually requires a very low soak time. I think it's about between like 2 to 5 hours for quinoa. So I would definitely go for that one if you need a gluten-free alternative. Okay, now I got the spaghetti sauces. A lot of them have ingredients. A lot of them have the vegetable oils in them, which we want to avoid. Where is their ingredient list? Oh, there we go. So, oh, this one has olive oil. So it has the tomatoes, olive oil, onion, salt, garlic, basil, red crushed pepper, black pepper, and oregano. So that one's a really great option right there. The primal version, I think it's, let's see, is it clean? We've got the diced tomatoes, tomato juice, calcium, chloride. I don't know why that has to be in there. Tomato puree, paste, basil, sea salt, avocado oil, which is great. onions, garlic powder, and garlic. Okay, but it does have the citric acid again. Where is it sourced from? So, okay. No, this is a health food store, so they're switching over to healthier alternatives. I don't know if I'm going to find one that has the canola oil in it, but if you go to the regular grocery store, most of them do. Okay, okay. I'm going to need that in just a second. Okay, we're going to go over to the bulk section, which this is where you're going to save the most amount of money, especially when you're making your own spices. And like we've got the bulk coconut too, if you are making coconut milk. So this is what I'm talking about. So, oh, there's alfalfa leaf right there. You want to avoid alfalfa sprouts, just FYI. Can't remember why. It is in Sally's book, Sally Fallon Morell. She's got the Nourishing Traditions cookbook. Phenomenal, phenomenal. If you guys have not ever heard of it or read it, I highly recommend it. I can also add that, if I remember, to the PDF I send you guys. But she does talk about alfalfa sprouts, and I know that we are supposed to avoid those. So we've got all of these. Awesome. Okay, so earlier we were talking about chili powder. So this one is organic chili pepper, salt, cumin, oregano. So it doesn't have any of the fillers that the other chili powder at the grocery store had. So that's what we're looking for, is purity, and that's where we're going to get it here. So okay. I'm going to switch over now. So Janet had sent in a recipe. Thank you, Janet. And I do not know how to say this name. Is it cock oven? I think, can you talk? I think I allowed it. Are you there?
Hi. As far as I know, I've heard it coca vin. I don't know. I think it's
Okay.
French. Maybe somebody else could help us.
Sounds better than the way I said it. Okay, so Janet has mentioned that she uses a lot of recipes that have cream of mushroom or cream of chicken soup, and she was wondering if there was another alternative. So I didn't have a chance to look here at the store, but one of the things that you can do, Janet, is take your milk or your cream. Actually, I would recommend cream and mix in mushrooms, and then you just let it boil down until it becomes a thicker consistency. You can also add in, if you don't have a whole lot of gut issues, you can add in tapioca flour as a thickener, and just a really low boil, it will thicken it up. So that is what I would do. So in your recipe, it calls for 6 medium red potatoes. And I'm going to give you guys some different options. So it depends on how much effort and time you want to put in the kitchen. So I'll give you like good, better, best. So when it comes to potatoes, obviously organic is best. They do spray the potatoes. I can't remember what it is that they spray on it, but it prevents it from, you know how it grows the roots? Well, it prevents them from growing the roots. And it also a toxin. So we want to avoid potatoes unless they're organic. If you want to make them extra digestible, you can soak them overnight in a salt water brine, and it will pull out some of the extra starches. So there's that, depending on if you want to do. But I actually, if I am meal prepping, I will cut up all my potatoes and I will put them in the salt water brine and store them in the refrigerator so that they're easy for me to get. And then, I mean, they can last in there for a week, and you're just fine. The longer it soaks in it, the more starches come out, and some of the anti-nutrients within the potato are neutralized. So, something that our ancestors used to do. And then it calls for water. Just make sure that it's filtered, Janet. And then 2 medium carrots. Organic's best, but do what you can. And then the 1 can of the condensed soup. So that's what I would do, is just the cream, and I would thicken it up. So I have played around with taking sourdough starter and drying it out and making it into a powder, and then adding that. So like where you would normally add flour as a thickener, I added that because it's neutralized the phytic acids in the grains, and made it more digestible. And then I will, if I don't have it on hand, I will use tapioca, sometimes arrowroot. I don't think you can put arrowroot in dairy based. I don't think it does very well in dairy based, but I will confirm that with you guys. Okay, and then it calls for chicken bouillon granules. Chicken bouillon granules are something you want to avoid. There are so many negative things in it, and I don't know that they're going to have any here. I'm going to see if I can find some. So it's going to have a lot of hydrogenated food particles in it, which is something to avoid. But I do have a recipe that I created, and I think that it tastes the same. It is delicious. And as soon as I get to the spices over here where I think it might be, I will give you guys the recipe. Let's see. Yeah, see, the health food store doesn't even have chicken bouillon because I have not found any on the market that wasn't full of crap. So my recipe, and if I don't send this to you guys, somebody can send me a reminder later, but for my bouillon powder, I'll use the Frontier version of the nutritional yeast. So it's 1 cup of that. And I make it in bulk because I use it often and it's just easier to make a bunch of it at once. So I'll do 1 cup of the nutritional yeast, a tablespoon of onion powder, a tablespoon of garlic salt, a tablespoon of sea salt. So I'll use the Redmond or Celtic. I will do 1.5 teaspoons of parsley, a teaspoon of paprika, a 1/2 teaspoon celery seed that's ground, a 1/2 teaspoon white or black pepper, 1/2 teaspoon ground sage, a tablespoon of nettle leaf, and sometimes I will add several teaspoons just because of the nutritional value of nettle leaf, and then 1/2 teaspoon of basil and a 1/4 teaspoon of thyme. So that is my recipe for bouillon, and then you can add it to anything that calls for chicken bouillon. Okay, so then your recipe calls for minced garlic. If you mince your garlic and you let it sit out for at least 5 minutes, the antioxidant properties actually increase significantly. So dice it up first and then let it sit out while you're preparing everything else. And then it calls for parsley flakes, dried thyme, pepper. Those are all easy. And then 4 boneless, skinless chicken breast half. I would recommend getting chicken that has a skin on it. And even the bones, you can cut it as half is the best as best you can, but then take those skins and I will add in some liquid. So whether it's meat stock or bone broth, and I will blend it in my blender because the skins are going to have a lot of collagen and other beneficial oils in it that are really good for the elasticity in our skin, in our heart, and all these things. Okay, get closer to my, got it. Okay, I don't know. Did you guys hear about the chicken? Sounds good here. Okay, so the chicken skins, just blending it and then adding that to whatever you can. So you probably will be able to find chicken with the skins on it for the same price, or sometimes even less than the boneless, skinless, but you're going to get more nutritional value from it. So definitely maximize your dollar budget on that. And then it calls for mushrooms and then bacon. We covered bacon and then the green onions. Never use your microwave, you guys. So the microwave is not our best friend. It's like getting an x-ray. It's like we don't want to be denaturing our food and destroying it. So so that covers that. I'll see if I can make this tomorrow. I got to figure out how I'm going to do this. I was going to go back to Sage and Plow where I was yesterday, but depending on what I decide to make, I may do it in my house. So I have more of my gadgets there. So I'm not quite sure what I will have the capability of making. So possibly this. And you guys have any other recipes that you want me to create or recreate tomorrow, let me know. And then I will try and get all the ingredients to do that. I just want to show you one last thing before we end here. So at the other store, I had covered sugars, but this is my all-time favorite that I use. It's the Just Panela right here. So it's organic and unrefined cane sugar. You can see it's dark right there. It's got all the wonderful minerals in it. It's medium glycemic, so it's not going to spike you as much. So in comparison to all the other sugars, so we got coconut sugar, which obviously is going to be brown. Then got the other sucanut sugars, or not sucanut, turbinado sugars. They're still brown. These ones are. There are some that are very much white. But here's some others. So dextrose right here, very white. Do you think that's very processed? Absolutely. Beet sugar, absolutely super processed. And then erythritol and xylitol, see how white they are? Super processed. So if you look up the studies about them, they do cause gastrointestinal problems among a lot of other things. And so definitely something to think about if you are having a lot of stuff with these things. So, okay, I think that we covered everything. Does anybody have any questions from this segment before we end? I'm just gonna go through the chat. Raise your hand if you do have a question. Okay, somebody asked, what do I use to fry items in? I will use coconut oil to fry. I will use lard, like a good quality bacon lard to fry things in. Avocado oil, it's a high heat oil. So I use that one as well. All right, and then recommended flours for gluten-free. Buckwheat is a good one. It's just, you have to figure out how to add different things that will hold it together if you're making baked goods. So I oftentimes, like I said before, would use, hold on, sweetie. I'll use, spacing the name of it now. Gelatin, goodness. I will use grass-fed gelatin, and then eggs are also great. I can give you guys some alternative recipes too for that. Let's see. Sugar for brewing kombucha. Okay, so when you are making kombucha, you are going to need to use organic raw cane sugar because it just loves it. But you are making a probiotic rich drink, and it's going to actually eat up all the sugars. And so by the time you have a finished product, it should taste sour, and it should not resemble the taste of sugar at all. So that is, you know, there's a few exceptions to the rule when you're going to use these different things, and that is one of them for sure. When you're making sourdough starters that you want nice and fluffy, unfortunately, you do have to use white flour to get that awesome, amazing rise. And then you can mix it with heirloom flour, but you have to have a portion of it as white flour. So kombucha, the raw cane sugar, absolutely, you can use that. There are some kombuchas that you can use honey, but it's like a June SCOBY, and I don't know if you can use a regular SCOBY for that. I've never done it. So, and I have read that if you try and use more of a natural sugar, it just doesn't work. It doesn't feed the bacteria as well. Okay, do you recommend kelp noodles or konjac noodles? Yeah, I haven't really had the konjac noodles, but the kelp noodles, yeah, 100%, as long as you're using the proper citric acid. Okay. All right. Let's see, I'm just going through the questions. Okay. Anybody raising their hand? I don't think that there was. Perfect. So we're going to end today. I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope that you learned something that has been helpful for you. I know it can be kind of scary going into the grocery store, and I guess not scary, but overwhelming, just not knowing what brands to pick out. So hopefully you found some good ones here, and we'll make your grocery shopping experience a lot simpler. So take care, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.